Love is two people waking up every day and deciding not to give up on each other. At the university campus, same night, Tunde watches Ife from afar again. He notices her crying while smiling at her phone and finally understands something painful. She is deeply attached to someone else. Lee approaches quietly. She said, "You like her, don't you?" Tunde smiled sadly and said, "Too late, I think." Meanwhile, at Obina Street at the same time, Obina stands outside, under the night sky, phone against his ear. Ife answered. Neither speak at first, just listening to each other breath. Obina said, "I love you." Ife said, "I know, I love you too." The wind blows softly. Miles apart, still connected, still trying, still choosing each other. Love is not just a feeling. Sometimes love is two people waking up every day and deciding not to give up on each other. At Ife hostel room at 5:47 a.m., the city is still quiet. Ife sits by the window, wrapped in a blanket, phone pressed against her ear. Obinna is asleep. On the other side of the call, soft breathing, peaceful. She smiles emotionally. Even from miles away, his presence still calms her. Sometimes love is not loud. Sometimes it is simply finding peace in someone's existence. She listened to him, breathed for a few more seconds before whispering softly, "I miss you so much." The strongest emotional connections are not built in the small moments people usually overlook. At the university campus in the morning, if he walks to class carrying books, students now recognize her everywhere. Her confidence is growing naturally, not arrogancy, but growth. She laughs with classmates, contributes boldly during lectures. She thrives academically, but hidden beneath that progress, she is exhausted emotionally, trying to balance love, ambition, pressure, distance, and expectation. And nobody noticed. Back in Obina's house in the afternoon, Obina studies relentlessly again. He now tutor younger students for money, trying to support himself, trying to feel worthy. His little sister watches him carefully. The sister said, "Why do you always look worried these days?" Obina laughed softly and said, "Do I?" The sister said, "Yeah, like someone trying not to lose something important." That innocent sentence hit deeply because children often see truth adults hide. People carrying silence battle every day. Be careful how lightly you treat someone's emotional struggle. At the university hall, students submit a major project. If a presentation is exceptional, lecturer impressed again. Lecturer said, "You have leadership quality. You should consider representing the department nationally." The entire class applauded. Tunde smiled proudly for her. But if the expression changes slightly, because success now feels heavier, not lighter. After class, Tunde walks beside her. Tunde said, "You know you are becoming one of the brightest students here, right?" Fifi said, "Honestly, sometimes it doesn't even feel real." Tunde said, "Why?" Fifi hesitates. Then softly, she said, "Because a part of me still feel like that little girl from a struggling neighborhood, trying not to dream too big." Tunde studied her carefully, admiration growing deeper. Tunde said, "Maybe that is why people connect to you. You succeed without acting superior." Ife smiled softly, but her mind drifted to Obinna instantly because he is the reason she ever believed in herself. In the hostel room in the evening, Lee burst into the room excitedly. Lee said, "Big news! Department networking party tomorrow night. Important people will be there. Sponsor too." Ife immediately shake her head. Ife said, "Parties aren't really my thing." Lee said, "This isn't just a party, this is opportunity. Connection matters here." Ife becomes thoughtful because she knew Lee is right. Sometimes growth requires entry rooms that make you uncomfortable. Back home in the street stand at night, Obina and Jide eat quietly. Obina looked emotionally drained. Jide said, "You need balance." Obina said, "Balance doesn't exist when you are trying to change your life." Jide said, "No, you are not trying to change your life anymore. You are trying to prove you deserve love." Obina freezed slightly because that truth cut deeply. Jide continued, "And that pressure will destroy you if you are not careful." Obinna stared down silently, realizing he has tied his self-worth completely to success and to Ife staying. In a luxury hotel event hall at night, elegant lights, expensive fashion, powerful people everywhere. Ife entered nervously beside Lee, completely out of her comfort zone. She immediately noticed how wealthy everyone looked. Sophisticated, connected, confident. For a moment, she felt small again. Then Tunde appeared, wearing a clean black suit. Tunde said, "You look beautiful tonight." Ife smiled politely and said, "Thank you." Throughout the night, important people speak with her. Professor praised her intelligence. Business card exchange. For the first time, Ife truly see how far life might take her. And that realization both excited and terrified her. At the hotel balcony later, Ife stand alone outside, overwhelmed emotionally. The city light glow endlessly below. Her phone buzzed. Obinna calling. She answered immediately. Hearing his voice instantly softened her. Obinna said, "How is the event?" Ife looked around quietly and said, "Beautiful, different, and scary." Obinna said, "Scary?" Ife said, "It feels like everybody here already understands a word I'm trying to learn." Obinna smiled softly and said, "You belong anywhere your dreams take you." Ife closes her eyes emotionally because that support means everything. Ife said, "You always know what to say." Obinna said, "That is because I know you." And there was silence, gentle silence. Then suddenly, a male laughter heard behind Ife. Tunde stepped into the balcony briefly and said, "They are asking for you inside." Obinna hears the voice. Immediately, the silence changes. Obinna said, "I will let you go." Ife said, "Obinna." Obinna said, "It's okay. Enjoy your night." The call ended. But this time, Obinna does not sound jealous. He sounds distant. And somehow, that scared Ife more. Sometimes, the most dangerous emotional distance begins quietly. In an empty football field late at night, Obinna sits alone under the floodlight again, thinking deeply, not angry, not jealous, just painfully aware that Ife's world is expanding faster than his. Meanwhile, in the hotel hallway at the same time, Ife stared at her phone anxiously, feeling guilty for reasons she cannot explain. Lee approaches quietly and said, "You okay?" Ife nods slowly, but tears gather in her eyes. Ife said, "I am scared life is changing us slowly." Lee looked at her carefully. Then slowly, Lee said, "Love survives change when two people continue growing toward each other instead of away from each other." Ivy absorbed those words silently. Miles apart, both her and Obinna stare at the same moon, missing each other, loving each other, but beginning to fear the future in completely different way. Not every relationship ends because love disappears. Sometimes people simply stop understanding each other, involving pain. People communicate their frustration through attitude instead of honesty. In Obina's room early in the morning, rain taps softly against the window. Obina sits awake before sunrise. Books open in front of him, but he hasn't read a single page. His mind keeps replaying the same thing. If he laughter at the hotel, the sound of Tunde's voice behind her, the confidence in her new world. For the first time, Obina feels like he is slowly becoming a memory in her future. Sometimes insecurity is not loud jealously. Sometimes it is the quiet fear of becoming irrelevant in someone's life. In hostel room in the morning, If he wakes up exhausted, her phone full of unread messages from classmates, pictures from the networking event everywhere online. One photo catches her attention. Her and Tunde laughing together. Comment flooding underneath. Power couple. They look perfect together. Her village boyfriend should be worried. If his mind disappears immediately, she locks the phone. Emotionally drained already. In a small cyber cafe, Obina sees the same pictures online. His chest tightens. This time, he doesn't react emotionally. He simply stares quietly. That silence is more dangerous. Jide noticed immediately. Jide said, talk to her. Obina said, about what? Jide said, about how you feel. Obina smiled bitterly. He said, what is the point? She's growing, meeting successful people, living a bigger life. I am still here trying to survive power outrage. Jide becomes serious. He said, Obina, never disrespect your own journey because somebody else is moving differently. Obina looks away quietly, still unconvinced. Comparison is dangerous because it blinds people from seeing their own progress. At the university library in the afternoon, if he studied silently but distracted again, Lee noticed. Lee said, you and Obina are drifting emotionally. If he sighed heavily and said, I don't know how to fix it anymore. Lee said, then stop pretending everything is okay. If he finally closes her book, emotions spilling out slowly. She said, I love him so much. But lately, every conversation feel like I am apologizing for growing. Lee softened immediately and said, and does he know that? If he stays silent, because no, she has never said it aloud. Many relationships suffer because people communicate their frustration through attitude instead of honesty. Obina, busy tutoring students, if he attended lectures, their schedule clashing constantly. Missed call increasing, reply becoming shorter, good night text becoming delay, silence growing slowly between conversations. Narration begins softly. Nobody noticed when relationship begin breaking quietly. There is no explosion at first, just little moments of emotional ascent.